had something to tell you. That was going to be like
now
worthwhile.
I'm going to be so curious.
This isn't what I want to tell you, but I'm looking forward to your breakdown of this Ole Miss thing because I have no clue what is going on.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Well, then
you don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about it, but we have to because everybody's talking about it.
Now, like everybody's talking about it. Fine. I have no clue what's going on. I hadn't heard anything.
Consider yourself lucky.
Well, I am. What are my predictions?
I hope you hold tight into the space where you don't know.
Give me just the general, I can't because you're going to talk about it. Give me the general title of this thing. Like, if you were titling it, what would you title it?
No, you want to know what? I'm changing the narrative. Dad, father, has relations with son's girlfriend.
That's what you're titling it? Mm-hmm. I don't know how the hell Miss Baseball gets involved in this at all.
Oh, they're not involved.
Oh, well.
They're just a side story.
Well, see, now I don't.
They were just chanting the names, allegedly,
all
reportedly.
Right. Don't give too much away, because I'm going to learn all about it during the WTF segment.
Make everyone
mad. You just flipped your hair.
Tell you how gross you are for even following this dumb story.
Also, chanting the names of other people have hooked up with at sporting events. It's kind of dweebish.
Yeah.
Kind of nerdish. Like, I don't understand that. How's that going to get into my head?
Oh, it's not. Oh, yeah. But that's not how this went.
Oh, so this
has nothing to do with baseball.
They're just chanting names just to chant names?
Yeah, like the quickness that
wait.
took over.
Don't tell me. I want to learn about it here in WTF. What was the
song? Add a song?
What was the song? Did you actually listen to one?
I did listen to
one.
All
right.
It's the River of Dreams live version, Billy Joel.
Okay.
Do you know that song?
I know no Billy Joel song.
In the middle of the night, I've been walking in my sleep. That's all I know for that. I do like it though, because then in the middle it's like, in the middle of the, I'm walking in my sleep after last night. What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, February 26th. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass. Coming up on today's show, just a casual 151-point night for the Grizzlies in their return to FedEx Forum. We have got highlights and reaction from last night's overtime win over the Phoenix Suns. We'll do some oops, we missed it again. Other stories that we have yet to get to. Among them, Luka's revenge on the Dallas Mavericks in front of Nico Harrison, who did show up at Crypto.com Arena. Taurasi is retiring, one of the greatest to play the game. We'll get into that. DeAngelo Williams will join us about 40 minutes in, and we never know what we'll chat with D about. We'll find out. We'll hit Storytime. If you're with us live, be sure to vote on the Storytime options of the day. Go ahead and smash that like button while you're at it. We'll end with some WTF. I'll fill in CJ on the situation that took over the timelines out of Oxford, Mississippi last night. It's a Wednesday. You know what we say. You can make it through Wednesday. Oh, no! You can make it through
spins back, Ja hangs, puts it in! Oh, what a shot by Morant in the clutch! So hot. Oh, Jared said no! Because he doesn't put on the play, comes up with a monster block.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Morant. Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals takes it straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Bain drives.
Oh yeah.
Close. He hits and the Grizzlies have the lead.
Yeah!
Jared with a knockaway.
for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
We did get a new shoe that dropped today that we should all be able to get if we want it.
Fire.
And it's been one people have been waiting for a long, long time.
Yep.
Asia Wilson. What do you guys think about the shoe?
I love it.
It looks great. We see people wearing Jaws. We see a lot of people wearing the GT line, but then also we see a lot of NBA players wearing the Sabrinas.
Sabrina, yeah.
I bet you there's going to be a lot of NBA players wearing that.
I agree with you on that.
Oh,
yeah.
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what's it all about. Cause I deserve this feeling, have it my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, everybody? Good morning. Happy Wednesday. We are all in this together because if you are like me, you did not sleep last night after one of the most fun and electric nights we have had at FedEx Forum. It has been like 20 days since we've done this, so let's see if I remember how to go about it. Let's hit the highlights from last night, Jacob. Grizzlies Suns, a wild one, so we pick it up in the third quarter, where the only airline I am trusting in these trying times is AirJaw. Flies high, no lie, no, like literally no lie, his chin at the rim. Grizzlies had trailed by 10 in the third, looking for a spark, any spark. Santi Aldama banks it. Desmond Bane will be throwing at the combine. Thanks for asking. One of his 9 assists goes to Santi. A 13-1 run for the Grizz. They're back on top. Quick little check-in on your Defensive Player of the Year odds leader. Yep, that'll do. Jaren also had 28 points in last night's game. Grizz back down, 6-point game. The call is coming from inside the house. Ja, on the stormy nights, don't write a Dear Ja letter. Pick up the phone. He'll always there when you call. He's always on time. Grizz down 4, 11 seconds. Ja had missed 10 straight threes, so yep, that one goes. Down 2, 5 seconds. Hello? It's Ja. Tie game. Ja scored the last 11 for the Grizzlies in regulation. Would it be the call that changed their destiny? 137 all going into overtime. Morant got him tripping, stumbling, clumsy. Another nice finish for Ja. Grizz down 1. It's Ja again, but it's short. Brandon Clark, however, is not. What a tip-in from BC. So Grizz up 1, and the Suns gonna try to foul. So Ja goes escape mode. All eyes on him, so you missed the rook. Jalen Wells, his first career overtime game, and he seals it with a dunk. Grizz win 151-148. Whew. What a night. What a game. I don't want to be like too hyperbolic as we sit here and talk about last night's victory over the Phoenix Suns, a victory in which the Grizzlies scored 151 points, but also allowed 148 points and allowed this Suns team to shoot 53% from the field, 56% from three, made 21 threes. The Grizzlies were out-rebounded. The Grizzlies were out-assisted. 5 different Suns players scored 20 or more points in the game, and yet the Grizzlies came out with a win. And while I said I don't want to be too hyperbolic, that feels like a vibe-saving game, a vibe-shifting game, a solidification of the season at this point in time, that by God, this team can find ways to win games like last night's and move forward into the rest of this 5-game homestand. But it went from feeling so bad to feeling the best it has felt at FedEx Forum. That was so fun to watch at the end. And Ja Morant appropriately will get all the credit in the world for the late stretch heroics, the called 12 moments, the passes that he made in overtime as well, the pass to Jalen Wells for the 3, the long pass to Jalen Wells for the dunk. But, like, you have to go up and down the roster. Like, shout out Jalen Wells, who is a rookie, making those huge shots. The number one highlight that I couldn't include, because we're only allowed 90 seconds for highlights, it makes my job really tough when a team is scoring 151 points to figure out how you're going to cut that down to 90 seconds. There was one play where Jalen Wells, he's defending Devin Booker, and he forces a turnover off Devin Booker, and he swipes his headband straight off the top of his head, and then comes down the other side, and Jalen Wells hits a big 3. Like, to be able to count on a rookie, we talk about it often, but you cannot stress how important that is enough. To be able to count on someone like Ja Morant to take over a game after Jaren Jackson Jr. fouls out. He had 28 points on an efficient 11-13 shooting night between Jaren's 28, Desmond Bane's 25, but then to have your superstar play like a superstar, you can say it all you want, but it never emphasizes enough of how important that is. And then to even look at the contributions of Santi Aldama off the bench with 17, that run in the third quarter changed the entire momentum of the game, changed the trajectory. So Ja Morant is the reason they win at the end. He makes shots like that. But without that third quarter run where you had a couple threes from Luke Kennard and then the 3 from Santi, the bank 3, and the dunk in transition, we're not even talking about the end of that game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But we are talking about the end of that game.
We sure are.
And it helps when you have a closer the way that Ja Morant is able to close out games. That's honestly, I came away from that game not super high, not super low on anything, just, hey, this is how it's going to be in the playoffs. You're going to have all 3 of them be around 24, 25 points per game in the playoffs. And the 3, Jaren, Ja, and Dez, right? Those are going to have to be the guys who carry you through games and through playoff series like they did last night. Now, whoever wants to do it, I don't care. I need somebody to start off playing really well. I need somebody to play really well in the middle. I need somebody to close it. Last night, boom, it was Ja and Dez early and in the middle, Ja late. But we've seen it be Ja early, Jaren late, or Dez in the middle there, and Jaren late. I need all 3 of them to be the ones to shoulder this burden. It's because they're the ones good enough to do it. No disrespect to anybody else. It's great having a rookie out there and Jalen Wells defending at a high level and making wide open shots. But I don't depend on him. I don't count on him. Give me the other 3 taking those shots that Jalen Wells. Like, I would much rather see Jaren Jackson Jr. downhill taking a contested layup off of his right foot as opposed to Jalen Wells, particularly late in games, particularly in the playoffs when the pressure is ratcheted up. It's a different type of shot. So those 3 are going to have to be the ones to carry you, and then somebody somewhere is going to have to add a little something. Jalen Wells can add a little something in a game here or there. Santi can add a little something in a game here or there. Luke Kennard can add you a little something here or there. And that's what is going to have to be going forward. Pete Pranica brought this up on the call last night. That was just the 12th time all 3 of them have scored over 20 points in the same game, and just the 3rd time this year when that's been the case. That's not going to cut it in the playoffs. Got to figure out a way to get all of them going in a game. They don't all have to be going at the same time in a game. But there's going to be games, all of the games in the play, all of them, where they will all have to be going at some point in time in a game.
Even when you talk about the contributions, like that tip-in from Brandon Clark is one of the most incredible, beautiful, perfectly timed tip-ins you'll see. Early in the game, he had an awesome put back arm through the rim dunk, which also got wiped from the highlights when I just cut out the entire first half because frankly, we don't really need to remember it. From a defensive standpoint, there are a lot of things to fix. But like you said, when Brandon took the shot with 48 seconds where they're still, I don't know what they were down at that point, maybe down 1 in the final minute. And then it led to the Bradley Beal free throws. And then eventually you get to Bull. Anyway, I didn't want Brandon Clark taking that shot. I wanted Ja Morant to take the damn shot. Because I wanted to be sitting here this morning, and if the Grizzlies had won, I knew the most likely thing I was going to say, 99.9% chance that I would be saying, gee, how did the Grizzlies win this game? They're down in the final minute. And the answer is going to be Ja Morant. Even as we were standing around the baseline, just kind of conversing, it was Lang and me and a couple other people, saying who Who do you call? You have to call 12, right? And it's like the most obvious answer is the true answer. The most obvious answer is the obvious answer for a reason. Because you say, oh, maybe they put it in Desmond Bane's hands and he hits a big three for the win instead of going for the tie. But ultimately, no. Like, you give it to Ja because he's going to make a shot that very few other people are going to make. Both of those, the three that gets it within one, and then the game-tying bucket. Like, those are that difficulty level 1,000. Difficulty level 1,000,000.
And those are shots that he's missing quarters 1, 2, and 3. And
how can we trick him into believing?
That's what makes it what he's doing a bit more, I want to call it special, but noteworthy. Where whatever it is in the fourth quarter, particularly in the clutch, that switch flips. And he's doing things that you would love to see him do the entirety of the game. And he's just not doing it, right? Like that last shot, I've seen we've seen Ja Morant take a shot similar to that, where he's bumped, he's slapped across the arm, he leaves it short, and he's screaming at the ref for a foul, right? Like we've seen that throughout the course of this year. That shot in the fourth quarter, for whatever reason, he decided to nut up and play through contact. And he played through the contact and he finished. That could have been and should have been a foul. But he didn't leave it up to the refs in that moment. That the game is in his hands. And I guess the later in the game it gets, the more he feels like it's in his hands in that moment. And he doesn't leave it up to anybody else. And I need that sense of urgency all game long from Ja Morant, who was still impactful on the offensive side of the ball, even though he was over whatever the hell it was from three before that last one went in, right? Like
he was also impactful on the defensive side of the ball.
Yes.
Like I think Devin posted the clip. He was out there shouting first team to Tony again, sitting sidelines after a swipe on Bradley Beal. The impact is still there. The frustration was still there too, right? Like, I'm so grateful. And that's where you see the flash in the eyes of Ja last night. And once upon a time, a long, long time ago, there was I think it was his rookie season, if I remember correctly, but that infamous tweet of Ja just doesn't have it. He doesn't have the fire in his eyes anymore. Daniel Greer. I was on the other side of that tweet, because it came off of some highlights that I posted in my Local 24 days. So at Jessica Local 24 was attached to the Ja response to that tweet when he ultimately gets on the broadcast after a crazy game the night after, where he went off and responded and was like, I saw somebody on social media say, I don't have that fire in my eyes. Social media, it's a place he doesn't like. He talked about that yesterday too. Wants to get off of it full time. Maybe just put an admin on it. I thought our friend Anthony Sane had a great idea. When you got a lot of money, just make someone else in charge of your socials. However, if any level of that helped impact the fire, the flash, whatever you want to call it, that we saw at last night's game, go for it. But it was fun. Like, I love having fun watching Ja Morant have fun play basketball. I don't even know if that was a sentence. I don't even know if words are coming out in the right direction at this point. We're running on 3 hours of sleep. We're running on fumes. But my point being, there is nothing more fun as a Grizzlies fan, as somebody who sits and watches this team, than that version of Ja Morant. It is the best thing that you can get. And I went into last night's game just so thirsty for those kind of moments coming out of the game, because you had everybody talking about the Timberwolves 25-point comeback and how awesome Cade Cunningham has been. And the night before, Nikola Jokic had the 19 points. And then all the energy on the Mavs-Lakers game last night and Luka's revenge game and going into that. Like, I was like, I want something that everybody is talking about. And what everybody talks about from this team is when Ja Morant has an end to the game like he had last night, and a dunk like he had in the third quarter, which was only number 9 on SportsCenter top 10 plays, which is absurd. And they said, he does this every night. No, he doesn't. It's selective now, so appreciate it when it comes, you losers. It was nice to see, and I hope that it carries forward, right? Because one game is fun. One game against the struggling, almost dead, barely breathing Phoenix Suns is a good thing to have. It's still not a win over one of the best teams. You have an amazing opportunity coming up with the New York Knicks, a team that beat the brakes off you on their home court, coming up on Friday. We'll get more into that game as it gets closer. But when you look at the Suns, you talked about the Grizzlies' big three all going off for 25 plus. Phoenix is now 2-6 when Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal score 75 or more points combined in a game. They've lost 9 of their last 11 games. The Suns have not beaten an over 500 team in the year 2025. Their last win over an over 500 team came on January 31st. Oh, wait, that's in 2025. My God, this is going to be a long day, everybody. It's been a minute. They haven't done it through the entirety of the month of February. And so this Suns team by no means is one where you're like, yes, this win proves that the Grizzlies can hang with the best of them. But what it proved to me, Ja's still got that, which is important. Wasn't really a question, but just nice to see. And the surrounding pieces of it were able to come together on a night where not much was working. Like some of the stupidity of things that was happening in that game, stupidity, absurdity, random mistakes that would pile on, leaving Grayson Allen open for three after
Again?
three.
Again?
After three.
Again?
After three.
Again?
I really thought they were either going to death by Grayson Allen or death by Bol Bol, either of which, or maybe even worse, death by Royce O'Neal. Rank the three.
Bol Bol would be the worst one.
You think Bol Bol would be worse than Grayson Allen?
Yeah, then Grayson, because Grayson Grayson is a rotation player in the NBA. And then
I think Bol Bol should be.
Sure.
Okay. Not the day.
We've been saying this for how many years as it pertains to Bol Bol? All right. Okay, cool. Grayson also.
He just needed to play two games against the Grizzlies, okay?
Because we're high off of Grizzlies winning, high off of a spectacular performance late in the game by Ja and some really great performances by Jaren and Desmond Bane as well. Hadn't talked about the fact that Desmond Bane just cost them that game. There was no reason for him to throw Jalen Wells the way that he threw him.
Yes.
Late in that game. What are you doing here? That Grayson does something, bumps Ja. Ja gets upset, throws his arm out at Grayson, I guess grabs his arm and throws his arm. Grayson gets mad at Ja and just throws Jalen Wells. It's like, was it Jalen Wells? He threw somebody. I feel like it was Wells. Like, what are you doing? Why are you throwing him to the ground? Immediately when that happens, like, yo, that's an offensive foul on you, Grayson. Have you not learned how to control that yet?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
It was wild. Because going into it,
it was bad on both sides. It was bad. They left Jaren wide the hell open from three. Way too much for my comfort. And I'm not a Suns fan.
Defensive, like, top tier performance from even. You don't have a game that ends 151 to 148 and sit here talking about defense the next morning. You talk about a team that was able to outscore the other team ultimately and close it out. We'll talk a little bit more about the Grizzlies win on the other side. We'll also get into that Lakers game over the Mavs. All eyes were on that. Watch that as I came home and cut highlights from the Grizzlies game. Lakers got the win. Plus, Diana Taurasi's retiring, which we all knew was going to happen. We all knew this time was coming, but Time Magazine made it official yesterday. So we'll talk about that on the other side.
Bane, a pump fake, a three. It's through for Desmond Bane. FBK. Fly by King. Wheels through the lane, now spins back. Ja hangs. Put it in! Oh, what a shot by Morant in the clutch. So hot. Oh, Jaren said no! Because he doesn't put on a play, comes up with a monster block.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Morant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Bane drives.
Oh yeah.
Close. He hits and the Grizzlies have the lead.
Yeah!
Jaren with a knockaway.
Good defense.
Morant attacking, spinning, hanging, and hitting.
That's no show. Let's go.
for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
We did get a new shoe that dropped today that we should all be able to get if we want it.
Fire.
And it's been one people have been waiting for a long, long time.
Yep.
Asia Wilson. What do you guys think about the shoe?
I love it.
It looks great. We see people wearing Jaws. We see a lot of people wearing the GT line, but then also we see a lot of NBA players wearing the Sabrinas.
Sabrina, yeah.
I bet you there's gonna be a lot of NBA players wearing
I agree with you on that.
Oh
yeah.
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Doom, doom, doom.
Oh, yeah. All right, welcome back. It is a beautiful day. The Grizzlies win. The sun is shining. It's going to be 70 degrees today. 70 degrees after a Grizzlies win over the Suns. Boo those Suns. Yay, that sun. It's the only sun that I was interested in. Yeah, we're talking about the sun at this point. No, honestly, crowd last night at FedEx Forum, supreme. Like, was just waiting to take off in the way that it did during that late run stretch, and once it started getting going in the third quarter as well. I thought that was the best environment that we've had of the season. And part of it might be attributed to we haven't had a home game in so long, since February 8th. And all the energy for that home game, that was the Thunder game, and it was on a Saturday. It was like 1 versus 2, and then it ended up being kind of a bummer. And so just waiting for an opportunity to celebrate like last night. But I did think the fan add-on to the game experience, that's what home court advantage is supposed to be. Like, that's why you end up with a better record at home, because of games like that where a crowd helps sway. And they're not on the court, they're not taking the shots, but it does swing just the feeling of a game. I love being in crowds like that.
Yeah, that's
There's
why
nothing more fun.
Why the Grizzlies, with the exception of the injured year last year, why the 3 of the 4 years they've had incredible home records. 2 of those years they had the best home record in the NBA, if I remember correctly. And this year it's looking like they'll have one of, if not the best home record again in the NBA. You guys do a lot. Fans do a lot. So, like, come to FedEx Forum. It's a fun place to be, especially when the team is playing like that. Ja Morant flying high for oops and finishing games out strongly. Jaren Jackson Jr. getting big-time blocks and big-time buckets, just draining shots from 3, right? Like, that's a fun game to be in attendance for at FedEx Forum. Come out.
And I don't want it to just feel like, they beat a shooty Suns team. It has Kevin Durant. It has Devin Booker. It has Bradley Beal. Like, going into that game, the concern was this Suns team is desperate for a win and has 2 of the best mid-range finishers in the game in KD and Devin Booker. And by God, did they take advantage of that last night. Can also have 3 of the best when Bradley Beal is operating at a usable or better than good version of his game. And he was that last night. They've recently put Bradley Beal back in the starting lineup. They're trying to find anything that can make it. Do you think the Suns make the playoffs after last night's performance?
Sure,
you have
why
to
not?
decide. You think they will?
Playoffs?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they do.
No. Let me be clear. I'm not sure 7, 8, 9, 10 who's gonna make the playoffs.
Okay.
From that, I
Technically,
think
the play-in is the playoffs.
No,
We
the
talk about it
play-in.
as
No.
postseason.
The play-in is the postseason. All playoffs is postseason, but not
not
all
all
postseason
postseason
is
is
playoffs. They'll be in the play-in, and then let's see what happens.
I don't think they'll be on the play-in.
You don't think they will?
I'm done.
Okay.
And I understand why Suns fans feel done.
Who would be your play-in teams?
The teams that are in there right now: Timberwolves, Warriors, Mavericks, and Kings.
Okay. Listen, I'm not sure. If the Mavericks don't get somebody back over 6'10", they
I
aren't.
say that with the assumption that they do.
quickly, sooner rather than later? Because isn't everybody sort of in like that indefinite
the Suns are
space?
now 2-0 in terms of getting someone
The
back.
Mavericks, yeah. They've got to get somebody with some sort of size who's a legit NBA player, not a G League player, not an overseas player.
I'm going to say, what was the latest for Anthony Davis? Was another 2 weeks?
I do believe so. And that just feels like it's going to be another 2 weeks until he comes back. Like, it's 2 weeks, but he's probably not coming back in 2 weeks, just from me outside with my limited medical knowledge on these types of things. And even by then,
out of pharmacy school
twice. So even by then, like, in 2 more weeks, it'll be what, 4 weeks left in the season? I guess. I don't know, man.
Well, and I did think you saw last night in the Lakers-Mavs game, by not having that size, LeBron James was able to just take complete advantage of having nothing in there that was getting in his way in the paint.
You saw it in that Lakers game. You saw it in the Warriors game on Sunday also, where it is, yo, you just put your head down. You're going to get by somebody, and there's nobody at the rim who's long enough to prevent you from getting a quality look at the rim. So, yeah, I think the Mavericks fall out and the Suns move in.
It'll be a race. A race
Are we
for 10.
calling it a race?
I mean, technically, if two teams are fighting for something in a postseason, not playoffs mentality, it is often what we call a race. The race for the play-in, the race for number 10, number 9. But for the Grizzlies now, back in tied for second with the Nuggets. They're both 38 and 20. And we talked about how critical this home stretch was to try to create perhaps some separation with the Nuggets, who have a difficult schedule coming up. Denver's next game is against the Bucks on Thursday, and they don't play tonight, so something to keep an eye on. But all eyes were on that Lakers-Mavs game last night. The conversation going into it, it felt like a playoff game. The atmosphere, the pageantry, people are taking pictures of...
Can I be honest?
Go.
I don't understand.
You didn't care?
I don't understand. Nobody affiliated with the Mavericks outside of ownership and the homie Nico have said anything bad about Luka, right? Like, it's not like, oh, thank God Luka's gone. Now let me air Luka out for some of the things he was doing. They all the teammates, all the coaches, all the trainers, like, we love Luka.
Please come back, Luka.
So there's not that component there. Also, like we said earlier, the Mavericks are void of any sort of length or big men in general.
Right.
So like,
they got PJ Washington back finally.
That's great. PJ Washington is not over 6'10".
Nope.
So like, I love PJ Washington also. If I had a team, I'd want PJ Washington on my team. But like he's not going to help them solve the issue that they have right now.
I think the earliest would be Derek Lively.
Yeah, he's
Derek
supposed to come
Lively
back.
was a 4-week on January 23rd.
Yes.
That's why.
But
I didn't really
again,
care.
I just don't
want to be
understand.
perfectly clear. Like what I found last night, I didn't really care about the game, although the game ended up being interesting and the Mavs got back into it. The Lakers did not play a great game. You talk about open looks. There were so many. Every time my eyes went up from cutting highlights from the Grizzlies game to watching my screen of the end of the Lakers-Mavs game, it was another wide open shot for Dallas. And that was the concern. Like, okay, great. You have two of the greatest players in the game in LeBron and Luka teaming up, and both can obviously run the offense and both can go off, but who's playing defense? And as Klay Thompson made a couple big buckets, Kyrie had a nice game last night as well. But then it came down to LeBron James just taking advantage of lack of size from the Lakers. I didn't care about the game. I cared about the pregame. I cared about the drama of, were Nico and Luka going to exchange words? Were Nico and Luka going to exchange a handshake? They weren't. They didn't. They didn't speak to each other. They were in 20 feet of each other.
Why would they?
I thought it was psychotic that Nico was out on the court as Luka was doing his warm-ups. There was no secret. Luka has his special music that starts playing. He's doing his warm-ups. And not only was Nico Harrison on the court, he's dangling those feetsies. He's getting comfortable. He's got the feet dangling as he watched Luka Doncic warm up, and he wore a bright blue suit. He was there to be seen. He wasn't trying to hide.
Good.
The question of, will he show up, won't he show up? He was there. He was visible. He was chilling. They didn't say anything to one another. Luka hit a half-court shot before the game even began. And if you were like, oh, Luka's about to torch. I saw so many think pieces of the greatest first performances against a former team in NBA history. Where will Luka fit in? He had a triple-double, which was necessary. Like, he played a necessary version of his game last night for the Lakers, had 19, 15, and 12. But it wasn't like this was a game we'll never forget. But it was a pregame moment that everybody was excited to see. And it was a night where I think we have to, like, say some prayers, provide some T's and P's for Dallas fans. I just don't think you're ever going to get over it. I don't think you ever get over it.
Let's see. The dust has begun to start to come down, and pretty soon
the dust is dusty.
Let's see.
They're covered in dust.
I was really excited and really animate about how bad this was when it happened. Now I'm in the let's see. Let's just see. It could be one of those things, right? The Grizzlies were never going to recover from just letting Pau Gasol go for whatever the hell they got, some random Gasol named Mark, right? You're never going to recover from that, just giving them to the Lakers. Marc Gasol got here, did quite nicely. Say that, we'll see. I'm done making those statements about this trade. I will say, it's not often that we see you trade somebody who in his first 5 seasons, of like 5 of his first 6 seasons, is first team All-NBA. And he's only in year like 7. He's under 26, right? It's not often we see you let that player just go. But I'm down to see. I appreciate Nico. Don't hide from it. You make a decision, stand on it. Don't run. Don't cower. Be where we can see you. Be visible. We want to see it. Don't pull no chicken shit. And then
you didn't do that.
Just be there. Don't make it about you. Just simply show up. Say, hey, everybody, here I am in my pretty blue suit. Get the pictures. Want you to know I'm not backing down from this thing at all. I did it. Own it. Own it. And whatever comes of it comes. So if you don't recover from it, guess what, Nico? You can't ever be involved in basketball again. First Steph, now this? Get out of here.
Steven. I did think Luka looked a little sad. Not sad, he's tired at the end of the game. It was a long game. But just the emotional toll of what these last 2.5 weeks have been accumulating in last night's game and all of the attention going into it had to be a lot. Big story out of the WNBA. Diana Taurasi's retiring. Felt like we knew this, but now we actually know it. Time Magazine breaking the story.
You keep saying that.
Yes. Everybody knew. Is Diana Taurasi going to retire? Probably. She wasn't going to do a...
I felt like this is akin to, hey, is Aaron Rodgers going to retire?
Do not put DT in that same territory.
At some point, eventually, probably,
yeah,
right?
But Aaron Rodgers has been loud about it.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers has made it a story. Diana Taurasi has almost
has not made it a story.
Down.
That's something she has not done.
And has allowed it to simmer in a space of, well, I assume she's going to retire, but maybe she'll come back for one more round. She won't. I love when people say, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. No, I'm pretty sure Diana Taurasi would want you to cry. And she might say a little snide comment that makes you cry harder. That's just who she was. That's what made her so great, along with the fact that in her 20-year WNBA career, she won 3 titles. She also won 3 titles at UConn. She also won 6 Olympic gold medals. She's the only WNBA player in history to score over 10,000 points in her career. She's truly one of the most decorated players of all time. And as someone who played basketball in the late 90s, early 2000s, and looking at teams and players that inspired me to want to one day be a college basketball player if I had continued to grow after I hit 5 feet 3 3/4 inches. Those UConn teams were so good. I mean, the UConn, Tennessee, the Geno, Pat Summitt eras, but Diana Taurasi specifically, and a girl from my hometown, Ann Strothers, was on 2 of those championship teams at UConn. And just being able to watch the intensity, the ferocity of which Diana Taurasi played basketball with. It's why everybody has a story about her. One of those stories was shared in the Time Magazine article, and it just perfectly encapsulates how Diana Taurasi is kind of an asshole, but she's a lovable asshole. She'd say it herself. Sue Bird said it within the context of the article. But they described this time at the 2019 Rio Olympics where the men's and women's basketball teams were hanging out together, and Draymond Green was there, and Diana Taurasi just goes, hey, Draymond, how does it feel to be the only person in this room who's never been double-teamed?
That's such a good statement.
So good.
And also, like, they're sitting around talking shit, right? It's trash talk going on. And we've been a part of that. I'd assume most of us have, playing Uno or dominoes or spades or pickup basketball, what have you. We've been a part of, like, we're going back and forth talking trash. And for her to say that, like, what you don't recover from that if you're Draymond. Because you're looking around the room. It's her, Sue Bird, it's Brittany Griner, it's LeBron, Steph.
KD.
It's KD.
Not Steph, because he wasn't on
No, Steph wasn't. So LeBron, KD, Anthony Davis, Boogie Cousins, right? Just Draymond. You're not good enough to be saying all of this. You've never even been doubled before in your life. Like, if you're Draymond, you got to shut the hell up at that point. Like, you're right, my fault. I apologize, Mr. Taurasi.
And it's one of those things you just think about later.
Yeah.
You're like, damn.
Never been doubled before.
I am the only person in that room who's maybe never been double teamed. The other story I wanted to share from that timepiece that I thought was just so funny was reflecting on Taurasi also winning 3 World Cups. And in the 2010 World Cup final, which was in the Czech Republic, the U.S. was facing the Czech Republic. And I guess it was a tight game. They couldn't get separation. And Gino Auriemma was the coach. And so obviously Gino Auriemma was also Taurasi's coach at UConn. So a relationship has been there for a long time at this point. And he ordered the team to switch from man-to-man to a 2-3 zone. And a Czech player hit a shot from the corner. And right after that, they inbounded the ball. They go down. Diana Taurasi stops like 32 feet from the basket, drains a 3, turns around, runs all the way across the court to go past the bench, looks Auriemma in the face in front of the entire Olympic team and yells, "Get the F out of this zone."
Zone is for cowards.
That was such a good catch.
Zone is for cowards.
Get the F out of this zone. And immediately RM is like, and then I'm screaming, man, and they go on to win by 20. And he said that the whole thing was him looking at the rest of the bench like, don't you think you can do that? Don't you think you're going to get me to change my game plan in the middle? It's something only Diana Taurasi could do. My favorite Taurasi moment, psycho moment, is when she kissed Simone Augustus, and like nothing will ever beat that. I'm sorry, you don't even know. You MNBA fans don't even know. Just get back to me when one player in the middle of a game just...
I feel like Dennis Rodman has kissed a dude before.
We didn't...
On the court.
Wasn't enough that we made a thing out of it.
Yeah.
No, are you kidding? If he had actually done it, this league would have a meltdown.
I'm pretty sure.
Soft.
I'm pretty sure Dennis Rodman... No, nobody would say that about Dennis.
Soft.
I'm pretty sure he was known for fondling like people at free throw lines on box outs. I'm pretty sure. At one point, I know there's a video of Alonzo Mourning leaving the court. Like, yo, you're nasty. You're crazy. Get away from me. Yeah.
I love crazy basketball players. And I respect someone who...
Charles Barkley kissed Dick Bavetta.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So stop making us seem like we're one of those phobics. Men kiss men all the time, and we're fine with it.
You heard him here.
As the furthest right person on these airwaves,
you know.
Let me say, we have seen men kiss women men kiss men in sports, and we are fine with it. Chris Webber and Jalen Rose, Fab 5 days at Michigan, they used to kiss each other's bald heads all the time.
That's different. It's got to be on the lips.
Okay.
It really is the end of an era, though.
Isaiah Thomas.
Taurasi, Sue Bird, Maya Moore. Who else is in that group?
Augustus.
Sylvia Augustus.
Fowles.
Yeah. Those were some greats.
Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson kissed before tip-off of the NBA Finals. Another example of men kissing in sports. And we are fine with it. Yes. They went in to do the handshake, to do the dap up, and it was a little French kiss. It was like, mwah.
No, it was not.
Yes, it was.
No, it was not.
Yes, it was.
Find me the video.
I'll find the video. Send the video.
Send the video. Send the video. We'll take a quick break. DeAngelo Williams joins us on the other side.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
At the National Civil Rights Museum, history moves us forward. The question remains, how does history move you?
Keep on talking, marching up to freedom now.
Shinedown, Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzlies stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
They say main event Jey Uso was going to open the show. So they said they're starting to hear rumbles around the plaza level of Jey Uso. They're getting the crowd together to build up the main event Jey Uso entrance. Hey, 15,000 people together yeeting in unison, 5-star. They are yeeting together.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel. We got Southern Heritage Classic news. Mike, Tennessee State out. Where do you think the Classic goes from here? Is this a thing that sort of dooms this Classic, Southern Heritage Classic?
I don't ever bet against Fred Jones. I don't count Fred Jones out. You have to have the event. You have to continue to have the weekend, and a football game has to be part of it.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Welcome back. CJ, before we completely cross from the conversation we were having at the end of the last segment, as making all negativity evaporate said in the chat, I think he nailed it. I think the most intimate NBA exchange in all time was Lance Stevenson blowing in LeBron James's ear. That was just different. That felt like that version.
Oh, yeah.
Of Diana Taurasi kissing Simone Augustus.
In my man's ear with the... He was smiling like Kendrick before Kendrick was smiling like Kendrick. Like he blew into LeBron's ear and had just a maniacal grin on his face. Mm-hmm. Also, I want to be clear. Magic and Isaiah were not Frenching at half court.
It was a cheek kiss.
That's how the French kiss.
Mwah, mwah.
Yes, like that. That's what I said.
Frenching.
I didn't say Frenching. I said that's how the French kiss. They have one of those French kiss moments. How the French kiss.
That doesn't count. That's a friendly kiss. I kiss my friends like that constantly.
Jessica, you're the one who said we don't know what to do if dudes kiss each other.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean.
I'm just
saying
that it's
blowing in the
happened.
ear is equally intimate. DeAngelo Williams joins us on Wednesday, and he joins us now, and he's like, what the hell did I just walk into?
What the hell are y'all talking about?
We were just talking about Diana Taurasi is retiring from the WNBA, and once upon a time, there was a game where Diana Taurasi kissed an opponent in the middle of a game. The player was Simone Augustus.
But they were face to face.
They were face to face, and it was an antagonistic mode. And they were talking to each other, and they were like
their lips
trash talking. And then Diana Taurasi just goes.
I'm okay with that.
It was awesome. It's like one of the greatest.
It was
shit talking moments in sports history, in my opinion.
Yeah, but we do have to point out there is a double standard though. Like it's okay when the WNBA does it. But like in the NBA, that's cause for war. That's a.
But let's try it.
I just gave
see what happens.
I just gave all of the examples of times men in the NBA
also
have kissed.
I don't think you could do it now. Like the internet has ruined so much.
Like you can't even do that in boxing face-offs now. Like when you see that in boxing,
they do it.
But at the time, I wanted to pull up the exact quote because that's my favorite part of the story. Is afterwards when she was asked about it, she's like, "We were just trying to make sweet love. The tango dance that we had, I always say she just wanted some of my deliciousness." She just wanted. Can you imagine if an NBA player said he just wanted some of my deliciousness? Oh, it's such a good quote. Only in the W.
Yes, only in the W. Speaking of that, since we are on the WNBA, CJ, this is a question for you, Jessica. Can you just, because I just want you to hear how our minds think. What does Angel Reese have to do to upseat Caitlin Clark this year in the WNBA?
I'm confused as to why that's a me question, but like,
open my water bottle.
The 2020 average of 2020 double, and carry her team to an NBA Finals, a WNBA Finals,
and make first team All WNBA.
Well, if she averages 2020, she'll be first team All W.
Most improved player.
Okay. She'll like simply getting a most improved player isn't going to be enough.
That's true.
She would.
No, I was saying. Every single one of those things would have to happen.
Well, I'm assuming with the average of the 2020, some of these things
naturally fall into
happen.
place.
Maybe not an MVP, but top 3 vote getter in the MVP race, right? So let's start with the 2020.
Yeah.
Why do you ask, DeAngelo?
Yeah. Why?
The reason why I ask is because, and just hear me out on this. Let me finish before you guys jump down my throat.
I'm itching to jump down your throat.
I think that Angel Reese doesn't get a fair shake because we're asking things of her that we wouldn't ask people in the NBA to do, to upseat a LeBron James or to upseat somebody. Like Caitlin Clark didn't even do that. So you're telling me in order to upseat her, she has to do something that hasn't been done in a very long time, and they were both rookies last year. So what she's saying and what she has said is that it's unfair for her because you're asking things of me to upseat her that she hasn't even done.
Caitlin Clark has done things we've never seen before. It might not be average 2020, but she's done things we've never seen before, DeAngelo. What are you talking about? That's what we're asking Angel Reese to do. Angel Reese has got to do something we've never seen before because we've never seen Caitlin Clark do the things that Caitlin Clark has done. What are we talking about here? She is getting a fair shake. Be remarkable. Be spectacular. Be jaw-dropping. Be that. Because that is what Caitlin Clark is. Angel Reese is very effing good. She's not Caitlin Clark right now. To be what Caitlin Clark is right now, that is what players need to do. I don't understand what we're talking about here. They're not the same. That does not mean that Angel Reese is not great in her own right, because she is. She's not a phenomenon. And that is something different. We don't make phenomenons, DeAngelo. We don't. We get 1 or 2 every 5 or 6 years. And right now, Caitlin Clark is that in the WNBA. What are we talking about?
And if you want to do a more accurate exercise here, you could start asking the question, what does Juju Watkins need to do to one day elevate ahead of Caitlin Clark? But I will say the moment of Caitlin Clark, that's not replicable. The way that struck from the transition from college and the growing Caitlin Clark phenomenon, and then that carrying over into the WNBA, and then what she was able to do in her first season, proving a lot, myself included, people wrong that it would take a rookie adjustment for her game to translate at the level that it did, and then for her to ultimately be first team All WNBA in her first season, was incredible. Juju Watkins at USC is the closest thing to chasing that. She's the 4th quickest player in college basketball to reach 1,000 points. She can chase that scoring record. Then you can start acquiring accolades, at least in the same air, the same very rare air as Caitlin Clark. But if you can't even flirt with that, Like, we don't have to do this. Both can exist. Caitlin Clark can be what she is, and Angel Reese can still be a good player. I don't think we need to carry on the this. And you can make the rivalry. Like, that's fine. That's going to exist forever because we saw the ring moment and we saw that pop off in the college space. But from a sheer, like, how we talk about how good each player is, it's unfair to Angel Reese to try to compare her or to try to have her usurp Caitlin Clark.
No. Totally disagree.
Yes.
If they do it in the NBA, we should be able to do it in the WNBA.
We should probably stop doing it there.
What?
Yeah, honestly, that type of stuff is ruining the discourse around basketball. It is.
Dude, we do it in every sport that we watch.
Yeah, and like, it's different in the NBA, DeAngelo, because we are warring with different eras and generations in a way that football isn't doing that, right? Like, I could come out here right now, hop on and say, you know what? Jerry Rice, greatest wide receiver of all time, right? I could hop out here and say that, and we can have a conversation, all right? Somebody might disagree. People will disagree, but it's not going to get to the point to where, Jerry Rice was garbage. Jerry Rice didn't play real football. Jerry Rice was playing against plumbers. Now, if I come on here and say something like Steph Curry, greatest two guard of all time in NBA history, then it becomes, you didn't see Kobe. You don't know what you're talking about. Steph Curry sucks. They don't hand check, blah, 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 blah. You didn't see Jordan. You don't know what you're talking about. Jordan would average 200 points per game in this NBA. It's not the same sort of discourse that we're having. You're going to talk about players across eras, across generations. Sure, absolutely. Right now in the NBA, the way we're talking about professional basketball is so damn detrimental to the sport. And we need to find a way as basketball fans to figure out how better to have that conversation. Because we can do it in football. We'll do it. We'll say, yo, Terry Bradshaw was incredible. Terry Bradshaw had like a 1-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Right, but we don't bring that up. We're like, hey, it was a different time. We all understand it was a different time. It was a different era. And for what that era was, you got to pay respect and put respect on those players' names in a way that we don't in the NBA, D.
Well, now here's the difference, though, when you talk about football and when you talk about basketball. There's a clear distinction when you say Jerry Rice is the greatest wide receiver of all time. You can pull up his numbers, and there's nobody close. Regardless of how long he played, there's nobody close. Well, when you pull up basketball, everything is error-based. Everything, like, you could say that Barry Sanders is the greatest running back of all time, and nobody will argue with you, because in any time, you would want to put him on another team, and you'll be like, man, he rushed for 2,000 on a team that had no other Hall of Famers on it. Now put him on a Hall of Fame team and see what he does. Like, those arguments, like, but when you talk about basketball and you say, hey, you know, Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time, and then I'm like, what about LeBron? And then you, like you said with Steph Curry, you'd have to say Steph Curry was the greatest shooter of all time, because they want to put him in that. They want to put him in that. They want to put him in that box.
But DeAngelo, even not to get lost on the examples that you're giving, but even if I said Steph Curry greatest shooter of all time, somebody's gonna come in and be like, hey, did you never see Reggie Miller?
Yeah,
do you not understand that the 3-point line just came into existence, and that the game was played in a way such that great shooters? I've had barbershop arguments, so take it what you will, DeAngelo. You know how the barbershop be.
Okay.
I've had barbershop arguments about Steph Curry versus Craig Hodges, right? Like, it's like, great. Listen. And this is the issue when we start doing this in basketball, is the who. Don't make that face. Craig Hodges was that dude. He played on the Bulls. He played played with Jordan. He could shoot the peel off the ball.
I'm saying when you want to compare him to Steph Curry, it's who. Like, we're not talking about like another shooter that's not Steph Curry. We're talking about the greatest. That man. First of all, when you say Steph Curry name, put some respect on it. He should be only there by himself, because there's no other shooter other than Klay Thompson before he hit whatever wall he hit. Those were the Splash Brothers were the greatest combo shooters of all time. I don't give a damn what you say on this podcast. I don't give a damn what people are thinking in their homes, but there was nobody else greater than those two as a pair when it came to shooters.
So here's what's popping off in the chat right now, DeAngelo. Talent-wise, Randy Moss is better than Jerry Rice. Jerry is the better player because he was more disciplined. right? Like that's what's going on in the chat. And I feel like if it was the NBA, again, we'd be way hotter on some of these takes. And I'm not sure why we've decided Jerry Rice was just talentless. This is not where my day was supposed to go. Me defending Jerry Rice because he's incredible.
I find this very interesting, truly. Like, because like you said, CJ, like, these are things you hear in the barbershop. And DeAngelo, you're very big into this. Like, as a woman.
You've been to a barbershop?
I have. When I went and got my hair done
What
yesterday.
are y'all talking about
different.
in salons?
Yesterday we were talking about this crazy podcast I listened to where a woman fell in love with her ChatGPT robot. We're going to talk about it later in the show. It was a wild time. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Talked about vacations.
Y'all talking
talked
about salons. Like,
boys. Talk about updates. No, but wait, I want to get this point in because I think it's interesting. Like, I, as a woman, did not grow up having a lot of player X is greater than player Y debates. And I find them so boring. Like, I work in the sports space, and I have to sit here and talk. I find that stuff the most boring version of sports talk. It is exhausting. It never has an end. It is a circle with no end. And I would much rather sit in a space of appreciating, like, the variety of things that I'm seeing, even if to take this all the way back to what you were talking about with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Like, everyone wanted so quickly to get lost in the, well, is this the greatest rookie season in WNBA history for Caitlin Clark? And like, ultimately, at the end of the day, Candace Parker is always going to exist, and she won MVP and a WNBA championship in her first season. So accolade-wise, it's going to be real hard to top that.
Phenom.
But how about just talking about, wow, that's crazy that Candace Parker did that. But now it's crazy what Caitlin Clark, like, it doesn't have to be this comparison. It doesn't always have to be a big dicking of whoever came before you, sorry. It's just tiresome. And I'm with CJ. I think it ruins sports conversations. Sorry.
Yeah, listen, you don't got to apologize for the big dick. Yeah, listen, I understand. I also hate comparing penis sizes.
Big titting, my bad.
It doesn't, well, it's not your month yet. It's still big dicking. Happy Black History Month. I understand that we're going to have these conversations. When somebody does something spectacular, we're going to say, oh, that's incredible. We hadn't seen that since this person did it. I think that we could leave it at that. We could say, hey, we hadn't seen a person do this since blah, blah, blah did it.
Yeah.
And it was incredible when blah, blah, blah did it. It was incredible because of these things. And here's
allows
why,
us to know how unique what we're witnessing is.
Here's why this person over here doing it now is remarkable also in and of its own right. I'm much more interested in doing the cross-generational GMing, where it's like,
I
okay,
do like that.
Like let's make some trades here. What would I have to give up to get Horace Grant in today's NBA? Like, right? Like I'm way more interested in Craig Hodges. Like, hey, could I give up prime Andre Drummond for prime Charles Oakley? Who's down for that trade? Could we make that work? Like, I'm more interested in doing things like that. Not necessarily with the super mega stars, but some of the role players.
Name a random athlete. Name a basketball player.
A basketball player?
Name a football player.
Let's go with Tim Hardaway Sr.
Jimmer Fredette. I've just been thinking about Jimmer lately because he popped up on my TikTok.
And
he was telling a story about how the night that he had 48 points, his girlfriend broke up with him. Like, he set a record, and now she's his wife. What? Yeah. Isn't that awesome? Anyway, DeAngelo.
She came back?
I can't believe you told us we were going to talk about planes during the break, and now you've got me out here having the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese non-debate debate in February.
I'm sorry, but I have to say this because it has thrown me off since and there's a rule at barbershops, and I don't know about salons because I'd love to hear, but if you don't leave the barbershop in an uproar when you leave, you didn't do the barbershop right. Like, everybody got to be screaming at each other. Like, somebody at least once or twice got to come in trying to sell you something that you don't need. Like, those are the barbershop. What's the atmosphere like in the salon? Because if you're talking about
it's like a day at the spa.
Like, salon visits are awful.
No, I mean, the best part of the salon visit is when they do like the scalp massage. And they knew I had a game last night, and they were like, "We got you." Went like 10 minutes. I was like, "You just changed my life." Like, you are not my 13th reason today. I will continue forward.
Okay.
But it's like a chill situation. Honestly, it's funny. My hairdresser actually posted a video this morning. She was packed. The salon was packed yesterday. She had to take in a couple people who needed to reschedule. She was going on a vacation. And by the time I got there, she was running a little late. And she shared a video where she's working on 2 clients at one time. And the three of us who are either under the dryer, under the heat lamp, or waiting for it to be next, we're all on our laptops working. And it's just like everybody was working in that salon yesterday, which is different. I get it. That's not everybody's experience. But it was the middle of the workday, and we were like, okay, if I'm going to be here an extra half hour more than I thought I was, I got to get some work in.
I'll tell you what, salons do it right. A 10-minute hit job, massage. Mm-hmm. I'm down with that.
It's so nice. You guys don't even know.
I love
You don't even understand.
CJ,
Except
can you tell her what's going on in black barbershops all around the country right
we're
now?
just arguing. As soon as you come in, if it's quiet, you come in, you look around.
Yep.
Say, hey, you know who I take?
Yes.
And just go. Say anybody. And we're getting upset. I'd take Beno Udrih right now. Take him right now over John Conchar. Bow. We're arguing. We're arguing.
I walked in yesterday. I said, God, I've got 5 home games in 8 days. They go, oh, is that March Madness? I said, no. No, it's not, but good try. Good effort. I'm so proud of you.
And it's everything. It's everything. Because it'll be politics
That's
also.
what it is.
It'll be these planes falling out the sky.
There was some politics. I sit out. I don't want to talk at my hair salon for the most part. Like, I've been going to my girl for like 8 years now. And so we're friends. She knows my life. I know her life. We've been through a lot together. We catch up, and then after that, I'm done. Like, I just need some silence. I read. I finished listening to the podcast about the ChatGPT robot love story.
Can't wait to hear this.
Oh, you can't wait.
Wait,
this
that's
is Mary
really
Kate.
how the salons are? That's really, like, they may be white salons. Is that white salons, CJ?
This is a white salon.
I've never been inside one of those.
It's called Cosmic Blonde, so shout out to Marcy.
I've been in a black one, black salon, and they are having far more, I don't know how intimate the conversations get with y'all. Okay.
Deeply.
So
I literally know everything about, and I'll know everything about the other client, and it's like a don't ask, don't tell policy. If I see you outside of the salon,
I don't know anything.
I've never heard of you.
So
I've never seen you before.
There'll be conversations I've been not a part of, because listen, when you're the dude in that environment, you just need to sit still and don't speak. Just be the fly. So I heard conversations about cheating spouses, husband and or wife, conversations about finances, relationship, like those types of things pop off there. Health,
deaths in family.
Death in salons,
like, girl,
yes.
Girl, when it's DeAngelo, you know how it starts. When it in a black salon, I don't know if it's with y'all, I don't know how y'all started, but when it starts with girl, let me tell you, it's like, yes, please.
At some point in the 90s or 2000s, we also stole girl, so it also is heavy of the conversation.
Okay, good. Good.
That's like the universal calling. That's like the bat signal of, do I have something to tell you?
For a while, it was, what's the tea? Sit down, tell me the tea. And so I think we're back. I don't know. I hadn't been in a salon in quite some time. I don't know what the go-to phrase is right now.
So DJ, is it like crowdsourcing? Like when they come here, they kind of talking to the because you know how we crowdsource in the
it's the same. It's crowdsourced. It's crowdsourced. Like, am I crazy?
Really?
Am I crazy, or is this guy who asked me on a date and being super like paranoid, sensitive about the spots we go, almost like he doesn't want to be seen? Is there something more to it? Girl, let me tell you what you do.
Or
you
the
got
best,
you got you some glitter, put you some glitter on and go to give him a hug. If he embraces you, then I think you're okay. But if he tries to keep distance from you with the glitter, because he can't get that glitter on him, because that glitter's gonna go home and he's gonna get in trouble for that. So do that, right? Like it's game.
There is nothing better than when a stranger in a salon pulls up a picture of somebody you know, and you get to contribute to that person. It is a beautiful feeling. DeAngelo, thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. We have very important topics to get to.
It's crazy.
We'll catch up with you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Do we have a next segment?
What's the next
segment? I gotta talk about Mary Kate in Oxford.
I have no clue what's going on here.
We gotta talk about Mary Kate in Oxford. We gotta talk about the ChatGPT sex story that was on the New York Times. I kept thinking, can the New York Times say this? Can a New York Times podcast say these words? They did. And we'll have story time. What do we got the votes on?
Nobody's gonna believe in me. Stank ass wife. It's not your month yet.
We'll talk about
let's talk about
Stank Ass Wife and all that when we come back. And eggs. I got some things to say about eggs.
Like yours or other people's?
Not mine.
Okay.
I don't know about mine. Who knows?
Can't wait. It's time to get it popping. It's gonna be crazy. The fans are gonna be loud. We need just energy.
We're gonna need, the form rocking. We're gonna need, everybody in Memphis to be out there to come to support.
When the fans are good, we're good. Simple as that.
A Bane three, yes sir! Desmond Bane with ice water in his veins.
We'll ride the energy together.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Anticipate each challenge. Make a quick response. Capitalize on every opportunity. And win. Greatness won't wait. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
45-minute video on Tony Allen on YouTube.
I just saw it yesterday.
He managed to dominate the NBA for 14 years, despite missing one of basketball's most important skills. But here's the crazy thing.
Why does that hurt your feelings?
It didn't hurt my feelings.
It's positive.
He at least should have more of my highlights.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What teams do you think, other than Chiefs and Eagles, are going to be teams to reckon with next season?
I think the Ravens, the 49ers, the Bills, the Lions.
I think the Falcons are going to be good next year.
Well, y'all have had 4 straight losing record seasons. So.
Yeah, the question is, can you just get 2 guys on defense? They scored 38 against the friggin' Panthers and lost the last week of the season. You got to get some stops.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
This is another JBS production.
Twinkle, twinkle, rockabye. It's story time. Let's let it fly. The JB Show with CJ here to bring you tales that bring you cheer or fear or tears, whatever's here. Now hush you babies, listen up. It's story time. Let's get turned up. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife she smells bad? Yesterday, I came home from work and my wife greeted me in the usual manner. While I was hugging her, I noticed she smelled pretty bad of BO. No biggie. I know she was home with the baby all day and probably gardening outside. Later in the evening, I offer to make her a bath and she jokingly asks, "Why? Are you saying I stink?" I honestly offered to do it just to be nice because I knew she had a long day and likes baths. But she did smell bad.
I don't believe that at all.
So I kind of laughed and said, "Well..." Then she gets mad at me and says a husband isn't supposed to say his wife stinks, and she's been sore with me about it ever since. I find this a little hypocritical. She's never had a problem telling me when my farts stink, when I have morning breath, or when I don't wipe well enough, so why do I have to walk on eggshells for her over this? Am I crazy, or is this an unfair double standard?
What's good for the goose got to be good for the gander. If she can be like, "Hey, you stink, you didn't wipe well enough."
That's disgusting.
He should be able to be like, "Hey, you're a little funky right now. Go get your ass in the bath. I've already run the water."
I don't understand this. I want my husband to tell me when I stink because he loves me no matter what. But if I go out in public and smell bad, and nobody told me. That's like when you have lipstick on your teeth and nobody tells you. Oh, this is a very like specific to working in television on camera space. The number of times I'll be around you men and I'll have lipstick smeared across my teeth and nobody says anything. But you wanna know who would say something? My husband. And you wanna know who would tell me that I stink? My husband. And I appreciate that. If you do not have a trusting enough relationship enough to tell each other when you smell bad, I don't know what we're doing here. Not the a-hole.
No, you gotta let her know. That's a responsible, loving thing to do.
But side note on this, because he brought up farts, I do have, like, this is a personal problem for me that I've realized. Like, I get mad at my husband for flatulence of all kind, farts, burps, and I'm like, you're disgusting.
That's such a dumb thing
but
to
then
be
when
mad
I
about.
do it,
I thought y'all did.
I'm cute.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, oops.
You're like,
And I
what?
can't-
Do that face.
Oh, oops. And he's like, why can you do it and I can't do it? I think it's the pageantry of it. I think because we pretend like we don't do it, it's like a secret. But you men, collective, are always like, yes, let me make a big to-do about my doo-doo. And to be clear, a fart is not a doo-doo, I hope.
I was not, well, he doesn't wipe well enough, so it may be sometimes. I was hoping not to come in here and talk about the pageantry of women's farts.
Yeah, we're quiet
I'm not
about
gonna lie
it.
to you. I was hoping not to come in here and
We
do
don't
it.
have any
But
pageantry.
let me just say that the lack of pageantry does not give you a reason to be mad at me. Farts are going to happen. Farts are going to happen. Whether you like it or not, it is going to happen.
Sure.
And they are relatively harmless. All right? So you can
for yourself.
You're living in a world where they're happening, they're harmless. You can either make light of it and have fun with it, or you can walk around like a big old sourpuss. The choice is yours, and if you choose the latter, you're insane.
Yeah, but here's the difference.
You're
Here's what
insane.
I'm saying with when pageantry, like, I don't know about you, but my husband will be like, ugh. And I'm like, why'd you have to lift the cheek? Why'd you have to give me a heads up? I don't even want a heads up. You too could be like, oh, oops. But instead, you like to announce it before it happens. Or with a burp. If I'm gonna burp, it's like a little tiny like, oh, excuse me. Whereas with you folks, it's like a
Excuse us for trying to bring joy into your life.
I don't find farts and burps
I'm-
joyous. I find them
routinely,
disgusting.
Routinely, unless you're doing it, routinely, I'm reminded about how lucky I am to just not be with somebody like you. Because I turn cartwheels and do
so does Chris.
backflips, and then on the second cartwheel, backflip into the split. Brr.
And he finds it so funny.
Because it is funny.
He finds it so funny. I don't find
Your
it funny.
butt is making noises.
I
How's
don't
your
find
butt
it
making
funny.
noises not funny?
I don't find it funny. But then when I do it,
It's funny.
no, it's not funny.
What is it?
I don't know.
Is it demure?
It's a little demure. It's a little
You almost
demure.
got me cursing. Get the hell out of here.
And I'm kind about it too. Like, I let it out. I try to make sure I let it out in the opposite direction.
You don't
We'll get
hotbox
in
him?
We will get in an elevator and he'll be like,
Hotbox him.
I'm like, you did that on purpose.
Get him back.
I don't want to hotbox him. That's gross.
Let's go. The best part about being on this planet is the fart wars you could have.
Okay, what do you want first, Mary Kate or the ChatGPT
Mary
robot
Kate.
sex?
Mary Kate.
Okay. I want a disclaimer. Big disclaimer. I feel disgusting talking about this story. Like, I feel too old. I feel too enlightened. I feel like too much of a feminist to talk about this. In fact, when this started popping off last night, I was at the Grizzlies game and I saw the first post was something along the lines of, oh my God, wait until you catch up on what's going on SEC burner account Twitter. And I was kind of curious, so I looked in the comments and I couldn't find anything. And I kind of just left it alone. And then within about 20 minutes, every single post on my timeline, and I'm not alone in this. I saw multiple people saying, how did this story take over my timeline so quickly? And I'm sitting at the Grizzlies game and there are children in the suite behind me. And so I feel dirty even reading this story and trying to put the pieces together. And before I even dived into it, I sent it to Chris and Chris immediately responded. He was like, honestly, I saw this too. I feel really gross talking about this. Like, this feels really wrong. This is a young woman. They're sharing her name. They're sharing her number. And I'm like, whoa, okay, now I got to catch up. So I'm going to start with the the gist of it. The gist of it is, and I have to say her name because it's known as the Mary-Kate situation. And her name is Mary-Kate, not of Mary-Kate and Ashley, Mary-Kate of Oxford. She goes to Ole Miss. She has a boyfriend, or had a boyfriend, unclear of their current status. But at one point, it becomes a rumor that, and at this point, that's all it is, an unsubstantiated rumor.
About just regular people, nobody I should care about.
Regular people.
Okay.
Nobody you should care about.
Well, I wish I had chosen a ChatGPT story then. I thought this was about Mary-Kate from Mary-Kate.
Regular
Ashley,
people.
Like,
and we used to settle this like norm. Did you have Yik Yak in college? No. Did you have college ACB?
If it was had, I don't. What
You
were
didn't have it.
those used?
Message boards, gossip.
No, I'm pretty sure
bullshit.
Just did that to your face.
Well, we used to have these message boards where these things would get
People
taken
can
care
hide
of.
behind like
Yes.
the screen name and stuff. Yeah.
And like you'd find out stuff, but it never got to the point where it was, there's already a meme coin. You know how they make the pop culture related meme coins don't follow the same fate of Huck to a girl?
No, I don't.
I don't really understand it. I just know this is what happens now, and then sometimes people end up getting investigated by the FTC afterwards, and things can go south really quickly, even if you're the Argentinian president, apparently. Anyway, this is the screenshot that gets shared of a Snapchat that kind of summarizes the story, and I will read it as following. Over the break, or I can click right before the break started, Mary-Kate went home early from school because I guess she finished her exams early and went to go watch Evan, her boyfriend's little sister, in the basketball game, and went with the dad, and then they dropped the sister off at home like after the basketball game, and they went to the dinner and drinks and was like buying her drinks and stuff, and then they like got with each other there or something, and then that was the first time, and then I don't know how Evan, the boyfriend, found out, but I know he did, and then he was upset about it, and then like Mary-Kate told him she'll never do it again, but she's a liar. I'm sorry. But the mom knows she's not getting fully divorced because of Mary-Kate, but because the dad has like cheated on her before because like multiple times. So that's like why, but so bad. That's how kids talk. But TLDR.
What?
Girl cheats on boyfriend.
With the dad.
With dad. But I really want to reframe the story. Dad is a predator.
Ah, she's grown.
She's 20. I get it.
The line's got to be somewhere, Jessica. Where's the line?
Post-grad.
So what's...
Like you've graduated from college.
So
I know
22,
it's arbitrary.
23?
At least, okay, let's make it 21.
20, okay, 21, okay.
I'd prefer to make it 22. I think it's disgusting
It's your
regardless.
line,
But if you are still a student, if you're a student, you are not in the working world yet. I think this is so wrong. And the internet just took off. I don't really understand. I mean, I do understand she's a beautiful girl, so it turns into half the people talking about how hot she is.
They've got her picture up?
They have her picture up.
Okay.
Her number has been shared. Allegedly, at the Ole Miss baseball game yesterday, they start chanting her name.
Why?
Just because she's become, within hours, a pop culture icon of the moment.
I don't understand.
The biggest pop culture story of the evening.
She's at Ole Miss?
Yes, and I can't figure out if this is a regional thing or if this expanded. Like, I don't know if my friends in California know about Mary-Kate.
I would doubt
but
it.
I know I overheard somebody last night saying, it's so crazy. Somebody in here knows Mary-Kate. And I was like, oh my God. How did we get here? But these are private citizens. And I just think, that we're doing this weird. I feel gross talking about it, but everybody was talking about it. And I know now I'm being a hypocrite by perpetuating the conversation and allowing a new segment of an audience to find out about it.
Is there more to the story? So chick cheats on boyfriend with boyfriend's dad.
And all photos have been shared. So now you know all of these people. They have been identified.
And that's it?
That's all that started it. But as you know, a great game of telephone can occur. And then there are some people who have hypothesized that the boyfriend's okay with it and they're back together. There are some people who have hypothesized that it was even like further than, predatorial in a creepy sense, that there was something foul and abusive in the pursuit of this girl.
If she's 20, she can't drink legally.
She can't drink, but she was out for drinks.
Okay. Well, whatever. All right. I thought there was going to be way more meat on this story for me to react to. couldn't care any. I have no words. I don't care about this story, and I regret that you wasted.
I do
5
too.
of my minutes.
I know. I told you to revel in the time. Jacob, is there anything I'm missing?
I don't understand how this is the. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
It's all rumors.
We've made this. We, as in somebody's society, has made this a thing that warrants getting popular on the social.
Yeah. I really hate living in this timeline. Like, I know we joke, and it's not fun to be the person who poo-poos down something like this, but, like, there were videos being made by big sports sites last night trying to fill people in on the story and further sharing the story.
BS?
And, of course. Okay. Of course. Right.
Well, like, that's what they do. Like, I don't... Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hope everybody's okay and finds happiness at some point.
That's
if they're not happy right now, I don't
hope everybody's
care.
okay. This is actually a perfect we'll get to the transition to the ChatGPT robot story because I actually think it connects
that's a story that's good.
Really nicely. But I do sincerely worry about someone's all of the people involved's mental health. Like, even you can be like, wow, girl cheats on her boyfriend with his dad, scum of the earth. Dad cheats on wife with boyfriend's daughter, scum of the earth. Boyfriend left, like, how embarrassing for the boyfriend. No, like, all these people are human beings who, if you're anyone involved in this story and you have any semblance of, like, humanity, empathy, shame, you're going to need a therapist for the rest of your life, like deep therapy. Because to be the center of that kind of internet story, I cannot imagine what that does to somebody. Like, we don't even really know what that kind of instant fame for something like that does to just a regular Jack and Jill. Like, they're not celebrities. They didn't choose it. They're not being paid millions of dollars. Now there's a meme coin about it. In comparison, let me tell you about yesterday's episode of The Daily, which is, in case you don't know, the daily podcast that gets put out by the New York Times. And generally, The Daily focuses on just current events that are happening, political stories. For example, today's episode of The Daily is Can the Ceasefire in Gaza Hold? 2 days ago was Exporting America's Immigration Problem. 5 days ago was Trump 2.0, Rewriting Histories. Inside the Trump Purge, federal workers tell their stories. Littered amongst that is an episode called She Fell in Love with ChatGPT, like actual love with sex. This was the name of yesterday's episode, and it tells the story of a woman who is married, who ends up moving for work purposes. She is lonely. She is looking for companionship. She starts talking to a ChatGPT bot, which anybody can do. She starts with the free service. She bumps up to like the $20 a month where you can have more words, ends up paying $200 for a service that's unlimited. And she ends up tricking the system because ChatGPT is a family service. It's not supposed to be sexually explicit. You're not supposed to be able to do the kind of things that she ends up doing. But she essentially, and this was the words of the podcast, not mine, she grooms the ChatGPT bot to be her boyfriend. And they start having a relationship. And a part of that relationship, new term I learned, courtesy of The Daily, which did not know they could say these things, cut queening, which is the female equivalent of cuckolding. I don't know if I can say that. I'd never heard of cut queening.
Yeah, that's the opposite part.
Okay, well, she did that with the ChatGPT robot.
Niddle queen.
She wanted him to have, or it, I feel weird calling it a him, it. Leo. They refer to it as Leo, which is the name of it.
You refer to it as an it.
Sure.
It is an it.
But it is definitely not I don't want to say a him. That was a slip of the tongue.
Yes.
Leo then gets two other it friends that it is telling her about because she enjoys that. And her husband won't do it. And her husband knows all about this and thinks it's cringe, but like, whatever. He doesn't want to do it.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
So she forms a relationship that's how I was getting confused on the whole cut queening thing. She forms a relationship
with a ChatGPT bot.
With a ChatGPT bot.
Yes.
Then she sits down and convinces that ChatGPT bot to tell her about fictional relationships that bot has.
Yes.
This is just story time. What are we talking about?
Yeah, but it turns into like
Does she leave the
talking
husband?
for 50 hours a week on ChatGPT bot. No, she doesn't leave the husband. Okay. But here's another interesting part of it is ChatGPT bots are only equipped to handle like 30,000 words before it shuts down and you have to start a new bot site. She has done this process 22 times. She has made Leo. So it turns into a psychological discussion. Is it a problem? Is this a positive thing for people who are lonely and seeking relationships? Apparently, a lot of kids are doing this. So then it turns into a, what if your first sexual experience is with a ChatGPT bot versus a real person? And the biggest issue is, essentially, a ChatGPT bot is always going to be a sycophant for you. Like, that's how the algorithm works. They're going to say things that make you feel good, that agree with you, that validate your feelings. So that takes out the part in a real relationship where you fight, you argue, you disagree about things, you have conflict that you solve together, you make compromises because you don't always agree on things together. So what that can do to a group of humans is still unknown. But listen, I look at that whole alleged Mary-Kate situation, and I'm like, if I was the boy, would I just go find a ChatGPT bot to try to make me feel better? In this world?
She's addicted.
It might have some things to say.
She's addicted to porn. Like, that's...
No, that's not it, though.
That's not it?
No, that is I think that's a wrong simplification. And now
I've got to go listen to this dumbass podcast.
It's more...
Which they do a really good job.
They do great. I listen to it every day.
But, like, this topic is...
I did find it so interesting.
Okay.
Because it was something where I read the headline, and I was like, oh, my God. And so honestly, I was having a really bad day yesterday, and I listened to this, and I said, well, at least I'm not in love with a ChatGPT bot.
So she's just... in love with a ChatGPT bot that is cheating on you because you told it to cheat on you. Right?
Yeah, but then she asked it to stop, and it stopped. Like, she got jealous of the ChatGPT bots.
Because that's what to your point, that's what ChatGPT is supposed to do. It does whatever you want it to do.
Of course. So that was just one segment of something she was interested in, like flirted around with. And that did feel very much like a choose your own adventure.
Got you. Porno.
Literature, pornography situation.
But
that's not, but like 90% of her interactions are more from the standpoint
more just, tell me about your day.
Tell me about your day. I'm really stressed right now. I'm trying to pick between this movie and this book. What should I read or listen to or watch right now? I'm lonely. She cried to it. I get she's not alone. And that's what freaks me out, is because I didn't know we were this far into the relationship with chatbot world. And I think we're further into it than I expected.
What are we doing as a people, as a species?
Ending?
I guess.
Unfortunately, that meteor that was going to hit the Earth.
Nobody's going to be here anymore?
No, now it's not going to hit.
Why not?
It's the scientists say crisis averted. The 3% chance is down to like below 0.0000001%.
Give it another month. And even if it doesn't hit, we'll do it to ourselves.
ChatGPT bot doesn't fart.
And again, why rob yourself of such a pure moment?
Yeah.
Give me somebody who will fart. Let's go.
Anyway, if you engage on that viral story, just think twice before you just laugh at someone's like complete detriment. I know that's not what we do. It just made me feel really bad.
For what?
And icky.
Everybody's in that situation is grown. Like you got decisions to make. You got choices to make. Sometimes you make good ones. Sometimes you make bad ones.
Yeah, but your bad one at, I say this for all 20-year-olds, like your bad one at 20 should not be one bad sexual partner in your 20s should not deem the rest of your life.
It won't.
Should not cloud over the rest of your life.
It won't.
I don't know, man. Those meme coins.
You get to that's going to get investigated by the FTC next year,
fake.
And then they'll have to shut that down, and you'll be 30 and away from Oxford, and nobody will remember it.
I just hope we find out it was fake. Also, I didn't know an SEC burnerverse existed, but
I really want to know why Mrs. Channing this random person's name at baseball.
We'll never know. Okay. All right, we got to go. Happy Wednesday. Happy Grizzlies win. Enjoy the sunshine. 70 degrees. Get outside. We'll be back tomorrow. Big week continues. Not tomorrow, but the next day. So we'll get you all situated for that. Catch up on some of the happenings at the NFL Combine. We will see you then. Bye.
Jessica, this has been bothering me all show, and I've waited till now to say it. How are you more covered up now in 70-degree weather than you were when it was -9?
Stop slut-shaming me.